Hi guys, quick tutorial. How do I create discussion groups on Canvas? All right, so go into the course that you want to create groups in and go down to where it says people. When you click on people, it's going to bring up your roster. When you have your roster open, you might be like, how do I make this into groups? Right here, there's a tab you can click on and it'll show you your groups that you've created. Well, I haven't created any yet, so how do I do that? All right, well, I'm going to start with a group set. So this group set name is basically what unit you're working on or what assignment you're trying to have them do. So this might be like um, your first thing that you do, and it could be community group, right? So I'm just going to call it community. And I don't know any of these students yet, so I'm going to let Canvas create the groups for me. I'm going to split them into, if I've got 30 people and I want about 5 people in each group, I'm going to go with 6 groups. Do not assign any leaders. That's just an added headache for right now. And then click Save. Randomly assigning students. So you can also randomly assign once you do know your students. And then if you know that certain students don't work well together, you can always change your group. So I see in here that I've got Lakeisha and Victor, and I know before they kind of had like a disagreement and they haven't really resolved it. So, or they've been in a group together every single time I've made groups. So I think I'm going to change it up and take Victor out of this group, right over here. And I want them to be even, and I know that this group looks pretty great and balanced based on what I know. This is just pretend I'm doing this in the future and I've met my students. So I'm going to move one person from this group into this group and bring Victor into this group, right? So even though it's been randomly assigned, you can totally change these around however you want them to be arranged. When they first are getting to know each other, maybe they know each other beforehand, but you don't know that. I just say go with the random and see how it goes. This group is only going to be doing maybe 6 weeks of work together or 4 weeks of work together, or maybe they're just going to do an intro activity together and then you're going to reassign groups all together. The thing is, every time you assign a new group set, you will be able to randomize or manually place students into groups. You can change the amount of students that are in the groups. Let's say you did this randomization and then you're like, you know what, actually, I feel like I need 10 groups instead. So what you would do then is just click on this add a group. And since I have 6, this would be group 7. And then save. And then group 7 down here doesn't have anybody in it. But I'm going to take one person from each of the previous groups and throw them into group 7 so that my groups are a little bit smaller. So if you change your mind, you can always rearrange that way, or you can just start over and delete this group set and, you know, reassign. Okay, so pretty simple. Once you have that done, if you want to assign a discussion, okay, we're going to assign a discussion. And whatever parameters I'm going to put in there, before I click save and publish, I'm going to make this a group discussion. Which group set I want to use is the community groups, which is the ones I just set up. Eventually, this might have a list of group categories. And if I wanted to, in the moment, I could create a new group category right here. So that's also an option. And then I will click save. And that question that I just created, even though there wasn't one, will be sent out for each of those groups to talk about with each other. So there's only 5 people having that discussion instead of 30 people having that discussion. So this is a great way to create small groups, check in on them for how they're interacting with each other, how many times they're posting, if they have gone off onto a different tangent, or if you want them to redirect, or you can throw them new interesting ideas. For SpeedGrader, this also works. The discussions show up just for what the person posted when you're in SpeedGrader, but when you're in SpeedGrader, you can have it open up and show you the whole discussion so you can see what they're responding to as well. All right, hope that helps.